Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to Drunken Gunslinger. Thanks for your continued support, Gunslinger. That said, let's get started. Mr. Oliveira, thank you for honoring my request to meet. I am Anna Maria Centrella. You've heard of my family, I'm sure.
Lady Centrella, this is a surprise. I wouldn't expect a member of the Canopian royal family to even know who we are, let alone approach us in such a non-traditional manner.
This isn't a traditional contract, and I don't need Comstar asking questions. Besides, there's no reason to involve the Mercenary Review Board. I already know that I want to hire you. Have I piqued your interest, Commander Drake?
Not yet, but keep talking. Maybe we'll get there.
Good answer. I think I'm going to like you, Commander Drake. The job that I have for you is relatively simple. I need you to recover something for me, and I need it done quietly. In exchange for your services, I will pay down the interest on your rather sizable loans and buy you the breathing room you've been looking for. A fair deal, wouldn't you say?
How do you know about... You know what? It doesn't matter. Just tell us what we're supposed to be recovering.
This. Lady Centrella's image is replaced on the screen by a grainy photograph of an enormous grounded dropship. Ramshackle structures cling to it like barnacles. She's a derelict vessel, an Argo, one of only 2 ever made. For over 200 years, she's been lying in state on Achilles, a pirate moon in the heart of the frontier. I want her, and you are going to bring her to me.
Yeah? And how exactly are we supposed to do that? I mean, that's a big ship, and she looks half cannibalized for parts. Look, you can see her ribs in the photo. I'm as enthusiastic about money as the next guy, but I'm a mech tech, not an aerospace engineer. I'll be damned if I can get that thing flying again.
Relax, Mr. Bertanen. I have engineering staff on hand to attend to the Argo. Their leader, Dr. Farah Murad, has built quite a reputation for herself in the frontier. You'll find a jump ship waiting for you at Alloway. It will carry you to the pirate moon, where you'll clear a path to the crash site. Dr. Murad and her team will go to work on the derelict, and you will protect them until the work is done. This should all be well within your capabilities, Commander Drake. Unless I've come to the wrong company, of course.
Sounds like a relatively straightforward job. It should be easily within our capabilities.
Then I can see no reason why you shouldn't accept my offer. Do the job well enough, and there will be more work waiting for you upon your return. Mr. Oliveira will never find you a better opportunity than the one I'm offering, Commander Drake. I can promise you that.
She isn't wrong, Achilles. We were looking for a lifeline, and I think this is as close as we're gonna get.
Well, we literally don't have much choice here.
Okay, Lady Centrella. You've got yourself some mercenaries.
Very good. I'll forward your contract to Mr. Oliveira. Your reputation as a freelancer is well known within the magistracy, Commander Drake. I hope that you live up to it.
The contract for Lady Centrella's derelict recovery job is ready for review in the command center. We should follow up when you think we're ready.
And welcome back to Episode 5. Now, we've got our first major story mission waiting for us, but it's a bit out of the way. It'll take us 18 days to get to the Alloway sector, and there's a perfectly good job waiting for us here on Bellerophon. Since we're still in the startup phase for our mercenary company, I thought we'd go ahead and knock out that One Skull asset retrieval contract before we head anywhere else. Like I said last time, our biggest goal right now is to build up our stockpile of mech components. I'd like to start making some basic modifications to our mechs over the next few episodes, so this should hopefully give us some quick and easy XP, and a small number of new mech parts to play with. Unfortunately, the company's Blackjack, Cupcake, is still out for repairs after that messy firefight we had during our last mission. It's nothing serious, and it should be back up and running within the next few days, but I really didn't want to just sit around and wait for Yang to do his thing. Instead, we'll be running this mission with everything we've got left, which means that we'll be going in with our Vindicator, our Shadowhawk, and both of our light mechs, the Locust and the Spider. It's a pretty big risk, of course. A single lucky headshot and Hawk or Bullet Sponge will be coming home in a body bag. But hey, I have a habit of playing things a bit too safe. Let's see if we can make things a little more interesting. Our operatives on Bellerophon recovered a functional piece of SLDF technology, but before they could deliver it to us, they were captured by pirate forces. We need a team to assault the location they're being held, recover the technology, and escape. I'm guessing the technology is some broken piece of scrap, but the Magistracy of Canopus is willing to pay to recover it. We go in and get out before they even know what hit them.
Command interface initiated.
Commander, the target location is likely to be well defended. We need to move up, get eyes on the location, and neutralize any enemy forces. Once we've secured the SLDF tech, the Leopard will extract us at this LZ. Best of luck, Commander. Oliviera, out.
Time to get paid.
Okay, let's get this show on the road. First things first, let's take a look at the map. Okay, we've got a pretty straight shot along this road here, but not a lot of cover to work with. We'll have to be very careful with our light mechs. Let's bring the mediums up first to draw fire.
Moving to position.
Waiting for orders.
Looks clear?
Commander?
Let's head the light mechs for that forest over there.
Location confirmed. I'm there.
Still no sign of them.
I'm here.
They've got to be in there somewhere, so let's move up cautiously until we get a ping on our radar.
Enemy detected.
There we go. We've got a mech and a vehicle on scanners. No details, though. We're still in free move mode until the end of the turn, or until we have line of sight, so let's make the most of it.
Roger that.
Now, Raider's going to be charging in there with guns blazing, but let's start moving the light mechs into a flanking position. Of course, we'll want to keep them in the trees whenever possible.
Acknowledged.
Mech warriors, show them what you got.
Okay, that's a light mech. Still no visual.
Yes, Commander.
He's already used up his turn, so let's see if we can take advantage of that. Let's hold back for now. We can use these buildings here for cover. Ah, okay, we're up against a Panther. That thing's packing a PPC.
Confirmed.
Really?
No love on that strike.
Well, the odds weren't in our favor anyway. Ooh, a fire starter. That's actually a relatively dangerous light mech, especially out here in the desert.
Waiting for orders. Rolling.
Okay, well, let's stay focused on the Panther for now.
Roger. Target confirmed.
Come on.
Failed to connect.
We're not off to a great start here, but hopefully our medium mechs can turn things around.
What's up, boss?
Let's get Raider in there. Hopefully he can draw some fire. Let's go for the Panther. It's braced, but it's also a much easier target.
Engaging target.
Well, we punched a hole in its armor.
Standing by.
Let's see if Takuma can take advantage of that.
Heading out.
Oh, let's go for the leg. It won't destroy the mech, but it will slow it down.
Got it.
Ah, no luck.
Reporting critical hit.
Took out a jump jet, but not much else. Scattered damage on the Shadowhawk. Nothing to worry about just yet. And our lights are up.
Yes, Commander.
Okay, we want to keep them moving. We really have to stack that evasion. Hold this location until our people can grab the asset. Well, that wasn't my intention, but it's a nice bonus. Now let's tag that fire starter.
Gotcha.
Solid hit. Not enough to slow it down, though. Oof.
Can't take much more of that.
And Spider took a pretty solid hit in return.
Waiting for orders.
Yikes. Her torso's already breached. I hate to do it so early in the fight, but we really need to pull her back to a defensive position. Sorry, Rowan. We just can't risk letting that mech get cored. I would still like to keep her on the fringe of the fight. Okay, let's jump jet her into the woods here. She'll still have line of sight, but she should be relatively safe.
Listen up. Fire an owl weapon.
Not bad. Ah, good. They're going after Raider. That's fine. The Shadowhawk can take a beating.
Waiting for orders.
Okay, let's keep hammering the Panther. That PPC is just too dangerous to leave on the field.
Locked on target. Critical hit, Commander.
Another solid hit, but it's still functional. Let's see if Raider can finish it off. Nice. Breach on the right arm now. If we're lucky, we'll take out its primary weapon.
Engaging target.
There goes the PPC.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
The asset is in hand, Commander. Good work.
I'm receiving you. I'm here.
Rowan just took some scattered long-range missile fire, but it didn't look too bad. Yeah, she's fine for now. Let's keep her on the offensive. You know what? Let's push our luck here. We'll go for a leg shot.
Target locked.
Nice.
Reporting critical hit.
Detecting mech warrior injury.
Okay.
Standing by.
Yeah, that fire starter's definitely getting on my nerves, but let's stay focused here. We really need to finish off that panther first.
Coordinates received.
Let's get this done.
There we go.
Hope we can salvage that.
We've got a galleon on the field.
Yes, Commander.
We've got a striker, too. That thing's actually relatively dangerous. Okay, let's pick off the striker.
Engaging target.
Nice.
Reporting. Vehicle destroyed.
That just leaves the fire starter and the galleon. Let's see if we can get lucky with a melee attack.
Engaging physical attack. Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Well, that definitely could have been better.
Reporting internal damage.
Alright, we're cutting things way too close here. We need to pull Rowan back.
Standing by. Waiting for orders.
Though, if we can take out that galleon, we might actually have some options.
Yes, Commander.
Okay, I don't like our odds on a melee attack, but let's get Hawk into its rear arc.
Rolling.
Armor's pretty thin. Let's hope this is enough.
All weapons are go.
Very nice.
Vehicle down. I'm receiving you.
Okay, the fire starter's already taken its turn, so let's put Rowan in reserve for now.
Good to go.
Now let's see what we can do about this fire starter.
Engaging physical attack.
Nice, that's a good start.
Commander?
Oh, actually, if we can cripple that other leg, then we can actually take this thing intact. I certainly wouldn't mind having a fire starter. Ah. That's a shame.
That's a kill.
Commander, the area has been cleared. Darius has given me the green light to land immediately. Hold position.
Mission successful.
Alright, good work everyone. Well, all things considered, that actually went pretty smoothly. Things did get a bit dicey for Bullet Sponge towards the end there, but we always had plenty of escape routes to fall back on. Fortunately, we just didn't end up needing them. While the Spider did end up suffering armor breaches on 2 locations, the internal damage was relatively minor. It's only going to take a total of 4 days and roughly 10,000 C-bills to get it back up and running. It's a little more annoying that Raider took that injury, but it's going to take us 18 days to get to the pirate moon of Achilles, so he should be ready to jump back in the pilot seat just in time for our next big mission. As for loot, I'll admit, I was tempted to go for the missile launchers dropped by that striker, but I ended up grabbing the mech parts and rolling the dice for the rest. The results weren't great, mostly just support weapons, but those will actually come in handy if we can ever put together a functional fire starter. Now, once I took care of the usual post-mission bookkeeping, I headed over to the mech bay to get Yang started on the repairs. Since it would take us 18 days to get to Achilles, that left us 10 days to refit one of our mechs. I decided to focus on the Shadowhawk. Obviously, we didn't really have a whole lot to work with. Under more ideal circumstances, I'd have gutted the mech completely, stacking it with jump jets and short-range weaponry to better suit my preferred playstyle. But in this case, I had to keep the changes a bit more reasonable. The first thing I did was rip out the LRM-5. Long-range missiles are nice, but they don't really fit with what I have planned for the Shadowhawk. Instead, I swapped in a spare SRM-6, which will drastically increase our mech's damage potential at short to medium range. I also moved the ammo stores from the torso to the left arm. Generally speaking, keeping ammo in your mech's torso is an awful idea. Internal ammo explosions instantly destroy whatever location the ammo was stored in, so all it would take is a single lucky crit to permanently destroy our Shadowhawk. In this case, I tucked the ammo into the mech's left arm, which is a much more expendable location. Overall, it was less changes than I would have liked to make, but like I said, we didn't really have a whole lot to work with. Just as well, I suppose. The mech bay on the Leopard is pretty inefficient. Even those minor changes were still going to take a full 9 days to complete. With nothing else to work with, we charted a course to Achilles.
Calculating course now, Commander.
Calculating escape velocity.
All hands, make ready for docking maneuvers.
Banging noises draw you to the shared mech warrior barracks, where you find Takuma disassembling one of the Leopard's internal walls. There are already several panels neatly stacked beside him. He pauses, then explains. "There's a few cubic meters of dead space back here. I'm making room so we can stretch without hitting the bunks." As reasonable as this sounds, the banks aren't going to like you modifying their property. Well, this would be easier to resolve if Takuma actually had technical training. Still, in the grand scheme of things, 20,000 C-bills isn't that much. We'll pay the fine. You look Takuma in the eye. "You know how the chain of command works. You have to clear changes like this before you start." He shrugs. "Well, can I?" You look over Takuma's work. It's cleanly done, with no hazards. "Take a break until I make my decision." During a chat with Darius, you compare the cost of the fine to the benefit for the mech warriors, and decide it's worth it. Okay, that cost us 20,000 C-bills, but gave us +1 to morale. That was a pretty easy choice to make.
Disengaging from junction.
Ready to go over financials whenever you are.
Oof. Well, that's a big chunk out of our bank account, but we should be fine. Story missions generally pay pretty generously, so we should be rolling in C-bills before too much longer. Let's keep moving.
Job's done, Commander.
Thank you, Yang.
We've entered orbit, Commander.
Okay, now, we've just arrived at Alloway, but we're not quite ready to get started with our new contract just yet. Instead, let's pause things real quick while I fire the last of our starter pilots and bring in a few more mech warriors from the waiting list. We'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, the selection in Alloway was pretty limited, but we still managed to find a couple of halfway decent recruits. Let's take a look at our new mech warriors. First up, we've got Marana Steed, callsign Knight. She's minor nobility from the Federated Suns, with former experience as a merchant from an entry-level corporate position. From a skill standpoint, she's mostly focused on piloting and tactics, but we should be able to shore up her gunnery and guts pretty quickly. Then we've got Woe 77, callsign Woe. He's another minor noble from the magistracy of Canopus, though in this case he was cut off without any inheritance. His primary focus is on tactics, with a secondary in gunnery, so he'll make an ideal pilot for most long-range mechs, especially if we can get one with a few long-range missile launchers. We also spent most of the experience points that we earned on our last mission, but that was mostly just focused on shoring up our pilot's weak points. Let's just move on for now. Commander, I'm setting a course for Lady Centrella's jump ship. It's strange though, this moon it's taking us to, Achilles, doesn't appear on any of my maps. Which leads me to wonder, where exactly are we going? And how do they intend to get us there? That was one hell of a rough ride. My stomach is still doing somersaults. That's because those crazy bastards used a pirate point to get us here. If we'd suffered a misjump, a sour stomach would be the least of your concerns. The leopard could have gotten irreparably mangled. Hell, we could have been irreparably mangled. The cautionary holovids they showed us at the academy were the stuff of nightmares. We're mercenaries. Our job carries an assumption of risk. You heard the commander. Stow the complaints, and pay attention. We have a job to discuss. A grainy map of a barren moon fills your view screen. A section of the image has been highlighted in white. The Argo's crash site is here, smack dab in the middle of a pirate stronghold. The ship, the stronghold, and everything around it belong to a self-styled bandit queen called Grim Sibyl. Her gang is the closest thing that Achilles has to a ruling council. Grim Sibyl? Is that supposed to be scary? It sounds like the kind of name you'd choose out of a hat. What do their defenses look like? They're patchy at best. I don't think Achilles gets a lot of visitors. They have strong anti-air cover, but little in the way of ground-based defenses. I'm seeing a lot of vehicles, but battlemech activity looks light. Define light battlemech activity. What are we talking about exactly? I can't put an exact number on it. All I have are surface scans to go on. From what data I do have, I'd expect the pirates to be able to field a full lance of light battlemechs, all of them in poor repair. There are mixed reports of something bigger. That'll be Grim Sibyl's mech. I don't have any information on tonnage or armament, but given the shape that everything else is in on Achilles, I imagine it's being held together with chewing gum and baling wire. What else do you have on Grim Sibyl? Before today, I'd never heard of her. Yeah, I hadn't either. Centrella's intel says that Grim Sibyl mostly stays put on Achilles. But she's got at least a dozen pirate gangs operating under her banner, so she must have something going for her. Sibyl's bio is pretty sparse. There isn't a lot of meat here. Just a note that she came up under Lady Paula Trevelyan, the pirate queen of the Tortuga Dominions. I guess that's impressive, having a personal connection to Lady Death and all. Lady Death? Really? I swear, man, these pirate names are killing me. A lot of good options here, but let's stay in character. Are Mech Warrior call signs really any better, Yang? Let me think about that one, boss. Raider. No, I guess they're not. Very clever, wise ass. Now knock it off. Darius, is there anything else worth mentioning in that file, or can we get back to talking about the mission? Well, it looks like Trevelyan and Sibyl had a falling out. That's not terribly surprising, given the Pirate Queen's track record. Sibyl managed to survive somehow. Good on her, and she's been living on Achilles ever since. The rest of the report is just a rap sheet. Apparently, our bandit queen has racked up an astonishing number of kills over the years, mostly against merchants and freighter crews, but kills all the same. She likes to get her hands dirty, and she knows her way around a battle mech. And that's all I've got. So the pirates have vehicles and turrets, maybe a few battle mechs. Got it. Keep going. The entire structure is surrounded by radar-guided anti-aircraft guns. Your first task will be to take down the radar towers so that Sumire can approach the derelict. After you've secured the crash site, she'll dock with the Argo and drop off the engineering team. And then they'll miraculously get a 200-year-old wreck flying again. Lady Centrella has bet a massive stack of C-bills that they will. For what it's worth, I believe that her chief engineer can pull this off. I'd never heard of Dr. Farah Murad before Lady Centrella mentioned her, but I did some digging after our meeting. She was telling the truth. The dock has quite a reputation. Supposed to be some kind of frontier engineering wonderkind and a genius at bringing dead ships back to life. I guess we'll find out, won't we? For better or worse, yes, we will. I'll leave you to it, Achilles. Good hunting on the moon's surface. I'll be keeping an eye on you from up here. Okay, I think that brings us to a pretty good stopping point for the episode. We'll pick up here next time as we head into our first major story mission, and hopefully recover our first proper dropship. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing BattleTech, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website or the fan-run wiki. Links are in the description.